The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight. The politics of hate. A columnist for the Dallas Morning News blames the deaths of 6 Mexican farm workers partially on the factor. You're not going to believe this. The New York Civil Liberties Union is challenging Governor Pataki, who wants to keep dangerous sexual predators under supervision. Factor exclusive. The mother of Taylor Beal talks about her daughter's suspected killer. And does the CIA hire assassins? Caution. You're about to enter a no-spin zone. Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching us tonight. The politics of hate. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. A few weeks ago, 6 Mexican farm workers were murdered in Georgia. The mayor of Tifton, Georgia, where the killings took place, responded by flying the Mexican flag at City Hall in sympathy. Now, apparently some residents complained about that. Enter Dallas Morning News columnist Macarena Hernandez, who wrote these astounding words. Were the complainers angrier about the red, white, and green Mexican flag fluttering in the Georgia air than they were about the horrific murders? Do they watch Fox's The O'Reilly Factor, where the anchor and the callers constantly point to the southern border as the birth of all America's ills? It is one thing to want to secure the borders and another to preach hate. Taken literally, such rhetoric gives criminals like those in southern Georgia license to kill. So what Ms. Hernandez is telling her readers is that this program preaches hate and encourages murder. That's what this dishonest woman is doing. Now, first of all, we have no callers on the O'Reilly Factor, as anybody who'd watched the program knows. So Hernandez doesn't know what she's talking about. I suspect she got her information from some smear website. Secondly, I'm on record time and again as sympathizing with Mexican workers. I've always said if I were a poor Mexican, I would try to cross the border and earn money here and send it back to my family. I don't blame the illegal aliens. I blame the federal governments of both Mexico and the United States of America. I mean, I don't think you can deport 11 million people. And if I were a poor Mexican worker, I'd do the same thing that these people do. They're hardworking, most of them, they're good people. So there's a proof that Macarena Hernandez is a liar. This isn't a matter of opinion. This is a matter of deceit. You want more? How about this? Ms. Hernandez fails to report the alleged killers of the 6 Mexicans in Georgia are criminal thugs who wanted money. Immigration had nothing to do with it. Shockingly, the Dallas Morning News allowed the column to be printed, allowed Ms. Hernandez to level a worst possible charge that we encourage murder without checking anything out. Talk about promoting hate. Hernandez and that paper are right in the forefront. There's no excuse for this. This is far beyond the limits of responsible journalism. Publisher of the paper, James Maroney, dodged our calls all day long. Hernandez refused to appear this evening, as did her editors. There's something very wrong at the Dallas Morning News, and that guy Maroney is responsible. Talking Points realizes American journalism is disintegrating quickly. There are few standards anymore. Left-wing ideologues like Ms. Hernandez, who has a master's degree from California, Berkeley, are running wild with hateful invectives on an almost daily basis. But for Hernandez to write a column this vile is beyond the pale. There's no excuse for that. If you'd like to tell the Dallas Morning News exactly what you think, we posted their email on BillO'Reilly.com. That's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction to all of this. Joining us now from Los Angeles, Dr. Raul Hinojosa, who teaches international development at UCLA. And from Indianapolis, Jeff McCall, a communications professor at DePauw University. Professor McCall, I'll begin with you. What's your reaction?
Well, Bill, as you know, it's a very competitive media world out there. And I think there's kind of a false sense in the media now that you have to be shrill in order to get attention. I think that's doing a great disservice to the media consumers out there. You know, the media play a very important role, not only in setting the agenda for the topics that we are going to discuss as a society, but also for the tone in which those topics are going to be discussed. I don't think this kind of an essay by the columnist is helpful in that regard. And by the way, you know, she's not the only one. This kind of attack journalism goes on from time to time. Earlier this week, for example, on one of your competing cable stations out there, there was a news host that was commenting about hoping that Karl Rove would be indicted, and when he did, that they would need to get him an extra large orange jumpsuit. That doesn't help anything. Yeah. You know, a year and a half ago, John Carroll of the Los Angeles Times.
That's just immature, Professor. This is murder. This is about losing lives. This is about human beings who are dead. and this woman dishonestly, and it is dishonest, accuses this broadcast. And now Dr. Hinojosa has been on here many times debating this very issue about border security, how to handle the situation. He knows better than anyone what our point of view here is. So what do you say, Doctor?
Well, Bill, you're a great guy. I mean, you relating to your immigrant roots, that's fantastic. But here's the problem. I mean, just listen to, I was the first few minutes before your show came on. Border battle. The Minutemen take their positions. It's a creation of the discussion of immigration as one of violence already everywhere permeating this debate. And I agree, by the way, with the previous professor that people all over the media spectrum are now trying to get people scared and trying to get people riled up as a way to get points. It's a very sad way because we have a very serious issue. I mean, even these types of images here played over and over and over again indicate that what's really going on is that people are somehow doing something bad to the United States. You know how the Minutemen could help stop immigration? They should go pick tomatoes in Central Valley. This is the basic problem. You and I have discussed this many times. But instead, vigilantism has been recently raised to a level of almost cult heroism.
I don't want to debate the
Minutemen
because that's not what this segment's about. You say it's vigilantism. I say it's Americans protesting in a way that's orderly and lawful. But, Doctor, this woman accused this program of being partially responsible for the murder of 6 human beings. She knows nothing about this program, thinks there are callers to the program. This is grossly irresponsible. This is a major city-only newspaper. I mean, you have to react to that, sir.
I don't know. I don't know her. I don't know what she was trying to do in her piece. But I think that what she's relating to, and it is a very serious problem in this country right now.
You're not justifying her tactics, are you?
No, no, I'm not saying, I would not have written that myself. Absolutely not. I don't think that's the point, especially, I think, because you, unlike other conservative people on television, are actually, I think, genuinely care for immigrants and their plight, given your historical background. And that's great. What I am saying is that the general tone of the discussion about immigration is one that, in effect, sees this as this battle.
Oh, I agree with that. I think that it's gotten to the point.
That happened with.
I agree with you. I think you're right. I think it's gotten to the point of irrationality. Now, I want to get to you, Professor McCall, and the intimidation factor. I see that as a big, big factor in this column. That if she disagrees with you, she'll demonize you as a bigot, as a violent purveyor. Jesse Jackson does this with the African Americans and sends a message: you better not call for stricter borders or a revamping of the immigration system, or you're going to be demonized as a hater. I think there's an element of that, sir. What do you think?
That might be part of the motivation here, is to demonize folks who disagree with maybe her point of view on immigration, to try to chill the atmosphere, so to speak, so that people who disagree or have a different point of view on maybe beefing up security at the borders won't be as prone to step out and speak.
Well, I think there's absolutely. Now, the last question for you both. This newspaper allowed this column to go through. Now, the editors have to see it, and then publisher wouldn't even take the call. How grossly irresponsible is that, Professor McCall?
Well, I'm a little surprised because, you know, all columns go through an editorial process where there are several layers of people looking at the content of the columns, and I'm surprised that it would have gotten to this point. And I don't mind that this column has a lot of emotion. This immigration is an issue that deals with emotion a lot, but it shouldn't be lathered all over it. We need some facts, we need some policy analysis. When we deal only with emotion, we're getting away from the logical discussion.
The primary fact of the case was ignored, that thugs kill these people for money. Nothing to do with immigration.
That makes it look like the column is irrelevant.
That's right.
To the details.
She had no column. Professor Hinojosa, I'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
But here's the problem, Bill. These people were robbed because they already know that people can prey on them because they can't go to banks. We create laws that make sure that they can't open bank accounts. We're creating a huge problem. And then, I'm sorry to say, the media, and including your show, to a certain degree, does not concentrate on the broader issues as much as also some of the conflictual elements along the border.
Doctor, thank you very much. Professor in Indianapolis, we appreciate it. In a moment, we'll get local reaction from Dallas to this situation. And later, more sympathy for sexual offenders, this time here in New York. Coming right back.